And thank you guys for joining in for at such a short notice because it was something very impromptu. And one thing I see myself doing is whenever I'm going into a mode which is not creative and it inspires me, I like to actually come on and share about it. Honest confessions. I think I should start calling these videos honest confessions. Because so we've been talking about the money workbook and the advanced money workbook, and why should you be doing any of these, or why should you even be looking at what your point of view on money is? Because it is about your point of view on money. And today we're having a what conversation? A money conversation. In case you guys didn't know it, did you know it? We're having a money conversation. Okay. And I found myself going into this mode of is it fun? Is it not fun? Should I do it? Should I not do it? What time would I have to do? How much effort has to go in it? And I've just finished a call series. Maybe I can wait a few days. And oh, my kids' exams are going on. And oh my God, there is so much with my maid thing going on. And I've been talking about it. Some of you know it. And it just takes me into this beyond a space of, oh my God, there's so much to do and I have to look after my kids, and yeah, my business requires me to, but what's the priority? Oh, my kids and my family are a priority, and oh, business, oh, so a lot of times we kind of have points of views around things which we're not even aware of, which we don't realize try to take over our lives. The points of views become like these little monsters, and they'll say, I'll tell you what to do. This is what you should do. Don't do that. And it's interesting how we don't even realize that they're controlling us because it's functioning on autopilot, in the sense that all of these reactions that you have to situations, what I was just talking about, should I do it, should I not do it, how much time, how much effort, is this time I'm taking away from my family or my children, or should I be doing something else, or they need me more, all of these things where there is no question involved are basically points of views that are controlling you. And what the tools of access do, particularly the How to Become Money workbook, the basic one, and if you guys haven't done, pick it up and read it. Okay. Pick it up, read it, do the workbook, do the questions, and you'll be surprised at what all shows up with regards to relationships, with regards to, like, for example, I just told you, how much am I cutting off my business or my money flows when I go into the point of view of, oh, my children need me, oh, I shouldn't be doing that and I should be doing something else. Not only that, what am I projecting on my children? What am I projecting on my family, that they need me? And that also brings us to this conversation on needy or needless, which we've been talking about. I did a call on it also, a Thursday morning call. And if you haven't caught it, you can actually go to the Showing Up As You Facebook group and just type hashtag gift call. Look up the one which says needy and need, because there's a difference between need and needy. Now, when I'm projecting an energy of, oh, they need me on someone, then what happens? Yeah, they do need you, and you're not empowering them. Plus, you're trapping yourself because now you have to be around them. So you can't do anything else. It's crazy, right? So now I want to begin actually this call with asking you guys, what exactly do you want in life with regards to money, with regards to creation, with regards to your life in general, your future? Are you aware of what you're asking for as your future with money? Because a lot of us have this point of view of अच्छा मुझे वो दिख गया तो मुझे वो चाहिए, मुझे ये चीज अच्छी लग रही है तो मेरे जिंदगी में ये भी होनी चाहिए. I'd like that and I like that and I like that, and I will look at someone else and say, but really, do you have a clue on what you would like to have your life as? And I'm not saying money is the only important thing. Of course it's not, but it is important too, right? If you would like to have a life of luxury, if you would like to have gourmet meals, if you would like to travel and live in great resorts, you require money, right? Now, saying, I need that or I'd like to have that in your life is one thing, but are you really committed to having it in your life? What is your commitment to? So, two questions. The first one is, what would you like your life to look like with regards to money, with regards to success, with regards to creation? Where do you see yourself, let's say, 10 years from now? What all would you have in your life? And what all would you not have in your life? Because there might be some things in your life today that you don't want. Whew, get out. On those two. So 10 years down the line, what would you like to have in your life, and who or what would not be there? Okay, look at that. Do you have at least a vague idea? Not even like, I mean, I'm not saying vague. By vague, I don't mean oh random. I mean the energy or what you're, and I'm sorry, that's not vague. It is a clear-cut energy. It's like, yeah, I know it's going to be greater. I know I'd like to have all of these different things. Plus, I'd like to have ease and peace with it. Plus, I'd like to be doing work that I enjoy doing. Plus, I'd like to be traveling. How would I like to be traveling? Okay, then you can go into the nuances of how would I like to be traveling? Would I be traveling economy class, business class? Would I have my own charter jet? Or, would I be waiting in queues? What am I asking for is basically my question to you. What are you asking for? Do you know what you're asking for? Or is it just a fantasy that, hey, I'd like to have, so much money? I'd like to have so much money. Now, what is so much money? Do you know what so much money is? So a lot of times we tend to put off this conversation of how much money are you really asking for? And again, not in terms of exact figures, but the energy of what that is going to create your life. Because what is the purpose of money? What is the purpose of money? Anyone? Let's do a Kaun Banega Crorepati today.
To create joy.
Does money really create joy? Or are you joyful even when sometimes you don't have as much money as you think you should have in your bank account?
Yeah.
You see, that's a money workbook question. Like if you look up the money workbook and say, okay, what does money mean to me? Joy, security, a sense of purpose, a sense of success. So is money really creating any of that? Or is the purpose of money to change your reality, people's reality, your reality, to have fun and to know that you have more choice because you have money? Because if you have more money, then you can choose, right? You can choose to go to McDonald's and you can choose to go to maybe Taj or Moria or Sheraton and not worry about how much it's going to cost you to pay for a lunch or take your friends out for a treat, right? And you'll say, no, I have the money and I'm going to treat you, because you can. Now, does that give you more choice? And then when you look at situations in the world that are not like Shannon O'Hara did this whole Actions for Future call series, and all the money goes to the forest, to saving the forest, to the trees. Now, if you do have money, can you actually outcreate those that are destroying the earth, that are destroying the forest, that are actually killing the animals? Yes, you can, because this reality, unfortunately or fortunately, I mean, again, that unfortunate or fortunate part is a point of view. Okay, money works in this reality, I'll have the money too. What if it was as simple as that? What works here? Looking at what works in this reality, what's going to make my life easier, what is going to create more choice for me? Of course, you're going to create the choice, but would it become easier if I have the money? All right, cool. So then I will have the money. It's as simple as that, right? It's like, oh, will it be easier for me to board the train if I'm on platform one and then the train is coming on platform one? Or if you're at 8 and the platform is coming at 1, then you have to actually cross all of those hurdles, come to platform 1, and then board the train. It's as simple as that. So if you do have the money, you are at platform 1, the train stops right in front of you. I don't know if the simile is relevant or not, but it kind of makes sense. It just creates ease in your world. And why I'm having this conversation is for you to actually see what is the point of view that is not allowing you to receive. Because this is one thing I've learned in Access and Access consciousness tools. Say that you are an infinite being. Are you an infinite being, you guys? I know I am one. Do you also know that when you actually choose something, and when you actually go, you know what, I'm going to have it, I don't care how, I don't even know how and when, but I know this thing is going to show up in my life? Has it ever happened? And then it shows up whenever it does. That's not the point, but it does. Today you probably have something you asked for 10 years ago or 5 years ago or last year. Interestingly, I got a gift today. I got a laptop bag, and this is amazing. I try to do it with other things I'm asking for, but it gets tricky when you try to do it. So it's a very subtle energy of, I was looking at my laptop bag, and interestingly, I've received 3 laptop bags and all as gifts. Okay, so when I bought my laptop, I was like, okay, I'm buying this laptop, right? And we had a long, not like a debate, me and my husband, about why you want this one. It's an expensive one. Why don't you go for a different one? It's going to give you the same function. I was like, no, I'd like to have it because this one is the one I want. And even if it's more expensive, you don't want to spend on it. You don't want to get it for me. I'll get it for myself. Okay. So I got my laptop, and the laptop bag came from somewhere else. Okay. So I was like very happy. That lasted me 3 years or something. And recently I traveled to Pune. If I don't know, you guys saw it or not, I went to Pune, and on the way I was like, okay, this laptop bag is now old. I've used it enough. What would it? And it was just a thought in my head. It was like, okay, I think I need to get it. I would like a new laptop bag. And it wasn't like I was asking the universe, send me one. I was ready to buy it, of course. But then it just went out of my head. And today I got a brand new laptop bag, and I was like, wow, your asks do work, particularly if you don't have a point of view about it. Particularly if you're not putting an energy of, hey, somebody should gift it to me. Particularly if you have a point of view, you don't have a point of view of that, you can't choose it for yourself. So it shows up when it shows up. And if you don't send out your cancel requests, like the money workbook says, if you don't send out that doubt, if you don't send out the I don't know if I can, it's difficult, it's going to take time away from my children, oh my god, my family needs me more, or vice versa, my business needs me more, blah blah blah, you don't go into all of that, because those are killers of creation. And if you actually start looking at your life and you go, okay, what are the things that I asked for and showed up in my life? Just take a moment. What are the things that I asked for that showed up in my life with ease? Simple things. It could be a laptop bag. It could be a puppy. It could be a relationship. It could be a house. It could be a small little thing or a very big thing. It doesn't matter, because the universe does not distinguish between big and small. It gets the energy of your ask. It is our point of view कि ये चीज बड़ी है, महंगी है, और ये चीज सस्ती है. So sometimes you might go, अच्छा ये तो छोटी सी चीज थी, तो ये आ गई. But it's not that. It is the energy with which you're asking for it. And sometimes it does not even look like an ask. It's just like, hey, you know what? I'd like to have that, period. And it's over. That's it. There is no tags to it, no tags attached. So please begin to notice, what are the things that you've asked for? Were there points of views there? Were there no points of views there? How did that thing show up? And like I said, I try to do it with the things that I really want to have. But then there is already that energy of want. I want it. And oh, it's not showing up yet. I don't know if I can do it. So all of those things are killers of creation, and it's so subtle that the universe resonates to energies, to your energies that you send out, to your thoughts, to your feelings, and to your emotions. And if you're not aware of what these thoughts, feelings, emotions are, if you don't pay attention to what my energy is when I'm asking for something, if I don't pay attention to, am I committed to it or not? Because if I go into the element of time, it hasn't shown up yet, or the element of I can't do it, or whatever, I am sending out a cancel request. I am actually negating what I'm asking for, and I'm not committed to my ask. So the next question, the first question was, what really are you asking for? Are you aware of it? What are you asking for? How much money would you like to have? So 10 years down the line, or now let's go 20 years down the line or forward. What are you asking for? What would your life be like? And now 50 years? Ever thought of that? 50 years, okay? Don't go, might not be alive. Oh, yes, you're going to be. I'm going to be, I know that. So you better be too, okay? So what would your life look like? And maybe if you choose to come in another body, that's okay too. And what would your life be like then? Okay? But we don't ask this question because we're so focused in अगले साल क्या होगा? इस moment हुआ कि नहीं? Instant, what is that called? Instant gratification. है ना, मैंने मांगा और हो जाना चाहिए. I've said it, so it should have happened yesterday. I know we all think like that. But are you choosing the points of views that are creating your future filled with wealth, filled with everything you're asking for, including the money, the kind of work you would be doing, the kind of ease and peace, the kind of space you would be living in, the kind of earth you would be contributing to in that moment? What would that be like? Just take a moment and ask, what would that future be like? And what point of view can I have today that is going to create that future, that is going to begin to create that future now? Because guess what? If you don't begin to create it today, are you going to have it tomorrow? And tomorrow you might be standing at the same place and saying, oh, it hasn't shown up yet. But what action did you take? Did you take action to it? Did you ask yourself, what am I asking for? Or have you been busy justifying why you can't create, justifying who needs you, justifying your time, justifying your energies, and doing the right thing, the good thing, the perfect mother, the perfect husband, the perfect wife, the perfect daughter? And I'm not saying those things are not important. Again, please don't misunderstand me. But what is it that you're asking for? What is it that you're committed to? And interestingly, we're committed to this reality. How many of you are committed to yourself? Get the energy of that. And how many of you are committed to this reality? Which one? This one or this one? One or two? What are you committed to? Now, when you ask yourself, what am I asking for? What would my life look like 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 50 years from now? What am I asking for? First, get clear on that energy, on that ask. And then, have you done it? Are you a little, at least little energetically in tune with what you're asking for? Yeah. And now ask, am I really committed to it? Am I committed to creating it? Am I really committed to creating it? These are the kind of questions that we play with the Advanced Money Workbook series that is starting tomorrow. And actually, I wanted to give you an energy of what this workbook is about, because it's going to show you not only, so the basic money workbook begins to talk about the points of views, which is very crucial. I must have done it about probably 10 or more times over the last 7-8 years. Facilitated it, done it for myself, did it while facilitating, right? And we have all of these different home plays that we do every day, because when you're present with these questions on a daily basis on a series of calls, it's a very different energy. It just shows you so much more that you weren't willing to be aware of earlier, because it makes you uncomfortable, because you have a justification in place, because blah, whatever. Okay. Now I want you to ask, am I committed to creating what I'm asking for? What is that amount of money? What is the kind of life that you're asking for? And are you committed to creating it? And if not, what is it that's stopping you from committing to it? And if you started clearing those points of views that stop you from committing to your life, like let's say, for example, there was this interesting thing that Gary spoke about, I think in the Advanced Money Workbook only. I'm not sure, but I think that. And there's this lady who's asking him, I feel as if I have no choice because my mother's not well and I have to keep looking after her. And I don't have time for myself. I don't have time to create. I don't have time to even, relax, or because it's all the time this constant mental thing of, oh, she needs me. I have to be there and I have to look after her. And she was wanting to attend some class or something. And the point of view was, I have to look after. How many of you have the point of view, I have to look after dash? What is it that you have to look after? What is it that you are committed to that keeps you from committing to yourself? And again, no judgment of it. There is no right and wrong. But have you asked, what are the infinite possibilities with this? Can I get that attended to and also do what I would like to do? Because it's so easy to give up on things that we like to do for ourselves because they don't make sense. And something else will always be a priority. It's always going to be like that. But also tell me that when something else is a priority, are you actually creating your life? Are you even looking forward to tomorrow? Does it enthuse you? And enthusiasm is another energy that actually creates possibilities. I want to read out a little text to you before we wind up today. But are you also, so okay, cool, I want to just rush into so many more things where it's, do you get what I'm talking about? So I would like you to actually look at, what are you asking for? Are you really committed to it? And if not, what is it that is stopping you from committing to what you're asking for? Because what if you're the one that can create that different reality that you're aware of, even if it seems insane to others? What if you're the one that is aware of something that nobody else can be aware of, because each one of us is unique? Do we have the same lives? Do we have the same kind of jobs that we enjoy doing? Do we have the same families? Children, if you have children, do you even two of the same children that you have, are they the same? Can you compare it with someone? No, but why? Well, what is the value of comparing what you would like to create with what someone else is doing? Whether it's good enough or not, whether it's the right thing to do or not. Because it is something like, and I like to give this example of this guy, the guy who they um, took inspiration from to create that movie that Amir Khan did. What is it called? Three Idiots. So the guy who he's playing, that guy is actually working in Ladakh and he's doing so much for his community, for the world. And if you actually Google him, it's amazing. But if, let's say, he's just one of those, Elon Musk, have you heard of them? Of Elon Musk? I mean, that guy wanted to create rockets and he wanted to create recyclable rockets because once a rocket goes into the spaceship and all the different parts of it keep dropping, because that's how the rocket moves up, everything goes waste. So what he started researching and started doing with his company, it cost him a lot of money. It cost him his relationships, but he didn't give up on his dream. I mean, if you haven't read the book, his biography, it's amazing, right? He did eventually create it, and it saves so much money. It saves so much, so many resources. But if why I'm giving you these couple of examples is because if these guys had given up on what they were considered, what was considered insane in that moment, we wouldn't have a different reality with stuff. And when this guy Elon Musk launched rockets, now he's doing it for the government as well. But before that, there was no private company that was doing it for the government. He was the first private company that started doing it. And he's a billionaire. I mean, probably a multi-billionaire, like it probably even. But the thing to notice is that they did not give up on what they thought was true. Then what is the value of us, each one of us, if we're here and if we don't have today the money that we're asking for? Truly ask, I mean, is it not the time to ask ourselves, hey, what is it that I'm not committing to? And that's what made me do this call today, because I wasn't fully committed to it. And today I decided whatever it takes, whether one person chooses it, whether two people choose it, whether no one chooses it, I don't care. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for myself. And I find myself repetitively going into this pattern of should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I? And I grew up being a rebel in the sense because my mother was always home for me, and I could never see the value in it because I would look at other moms doing so many other things, having a business, creating money, being smartly dressed, going out and meeting people. And my mother was a simple loving person who would always just be there for us, cook for us, give us hot cups of coffee when we were studying, just be there, just be in the house. And I realized the importance of that when I became a mother myself. But in trying to be a rebel and not become her, because I wanted to be the smart one, the one that dresses well, the one that, is also earning, is contributing to the house, plus also raising the children well. All of those things I've been wanting to be. That is what I wanted to be. I never wanted to be somebody who just stays at home, is a homemaker. And these days, that's exactly what I'm doing. I am a homemaker. I'm cooking. I'm just in the house. And I'm enjoying it, even though it tires me to the core. It just drains me. By the end of the day, I'm conked off. And that is also one of the reasons why I was like, should I, shouldn't I? But you see how these kinds of points of views when you're growing up, the contradiction there, the fight of being something or not being something, not asking who am I truly, and am I an infinite being? Can I do all of this together? Yeah. Can I get more help? Can I change a few things here? What can I change? And what is it that I'm not committing to as my reality? Does that make sense? So everything there, everywhere that you're not willing to commit to yourself and your reality, commit to what you're aware of as a possibility, not only with money, but with your life, with the creation of a future and fortune, no matter when it shows up. Will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, poc, online shirts, boys, and beyond. So begin to look at what different choices can you make now that you've been unwilling to make that would allow you to commit to you, because it is these points of views that I'm talking about that makes you either try to be your mom or your dad or not be them, and in the process become them, because in trying to not be somebody you have to first understand their point of view, go into that without cognitively realizing you're already becoming that, and then you become that, and then that stops you. Everything that is, will you destroy and create it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, poc, online shows, boys and mirrors. So how many of you are your moms? How many of you are your dads? But are you your mom or your dad? Are you an infinite being? What is it? And how many people tell you, you look like your mom, you look like your dad, you look so much like them. And in all of that, are you taking on everything that they believe to be true um, as a financial reality? And everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all and allow yourself to create a new financial reality, that which works for you, that which can show up the moment you begin to have the willingness to commit to it, the moment you can see where you're not willing to commit to and be interesting point of view with it, have allowance, no judging yourself for it either, because judgment again kills. And that's very important. Remember that, guys, because you start looking at what you're not, where you're being something that's not creating a financial reality, and then you begin to judge yourself for it. Oops, gone. You've killed it again. So it's very important. And that's also what the money workbook teaches you, to first recognize the point of view that is stopping you from creation, and then be interesting point of view with it so that it can melt and go away. And when a point of view can melt and go away, which the interesting point of view tool does beautifully, you don't have to judge yourself. You don't have to judge someone else. It just creates that space for more to come in. Okay. So, what would it take for you to be the space? What would it take for you to commit to your reality? Allow yourself to see what's working, what's not working, and then create a new financial reality. And everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pakona, insurance, boys and beyond. So, one more thing before, these are a couple of things that I wanted to bring to you guys. And we're starting, instead of tonight, we're starting tomorrow night now. If you are still in for the Advanced Money Workbook series, text me. I'm still giving it out at the special offer price only for tomorrow. If you would like to join in for those 14 calls, we'll be doing 3 or 4 calls a week till end of December. The calls are going to be from 8 to 9:15 roughly. And yes, there'll be a lot of home play. There'll be a lot of things that you will become aware of. It might not be comfortable. And the prerequisite to this class call series is the foundation class that Access offers. You could have taken it with anyone. And the money workbook. And you could have done the money workbook yourself also. So that's the criteria for joining the prerequisite, the Advanced Money Workbook series. And why Gary has said that prerequisite is that unless you would have done that, it's a little difficult for you to receive. There are advanced tools here. It takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of willingness. So for those of you who have signed up, know that it requires a lot of courage to be on these calls. And Gary himself told me that you can't really invite people on these calls. I asked him, hey, what would it take for people to choose this? It's so amazing. And Gary said, you can't invite people to these calls. And I was like, probably it was a wedgie or not a wedgie, no idea. But the last time I facilitated it, it just rocked everyone's worlds, including mine. And there are these amazing tools in the workbook that totally, I mean, I can't praise it enough. So it starts tomorrow, and it is going to be at least 3 days a week, some weeks 4, and we have a WhatsApp closed group for all the participants. I will be posting the days. Right now, it is for this week. It's tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday this week, and then subsequent weeks it'll be 3 to 4 calls every week, 8 to 9:15, 9:20, whatever. Okay. I just told you the timing, right? So how does it get any better than that? And like I said, reach out to me. I will let you know the offer price, which is now only available till tomorrow. So that's being said, there was one more thing that I wanted to give to you guys today, is this thing that a lot of people say, I don't know how to choose. Now, let's say you've chosen to create a different financial reality. Now, what do you choose? How do you change your current reality? What do I choose? So how do you know what to choose, what not to choose? Anyone have any tools to share for that? How do you choose when you have to make a choice between things? What do you do?
Light and
Light and
heavy.
heavy.
Awesome.
5 years from now, what would it create if I choose this?
Awesome. Awesome. Sometimes this light and heavy get a little confusing. You're like, ye bhi light hai, ye bhi light hai. This is also heavy. I don't know what to choose. How many of you have done that? I don't know which one is light. I can't figure it out.
For me,
This is
everything is light.
sorry.
For me, everything is light. Tapidi
I
choose.
know. I love your energy. All right. So, okay, the one thing is that you have to choose it to see whether it is light or heavy. Because a lot of times, I'm a culprit too. I've tried think, okay, is that light or is that light? And it isn't. One thing for me which makes it clear whether I would like to choose it or not is the peace and the joy that come with the choice. Sometimes we try to, like, let's say I'm in a job or I'm in a business that I've been doing for a while, and I have a point of view that, oh, X amount of money is at least coming in, should I continue it or not? And then I don't want to leave it because I'm not sure what the future is going to be like if I leave it, but I don't feel like entirely committing to continuing it. And then, it just keeps hanging like a sword on over your head all the time. It's like, karu nahi karu, shouldn't I, has anything like that ever happened to you? So then you're already in the fix of, you're already in the poop, and then you're like, oh, light, not light, I can't figure it out. What should I do? Okay, I'll do it, but you're not happy the next day, and it's like, oh, it's that heavy thing. Whatever, or you choose it and then you're pushing yourself to make it work. Either way is one thing that will show you is the joy that comes with every time you're choosing it. Am I enthused by this? Is this bringing me joy? And that is one way to see whether it is light or heavy, or, because a lot of times as a humanoid, you'll find most things light. You'll want to play with different things. You'll get excited. Like Shivani just said, everything excites me. I want to play with this and I want to play with that. There's this whole bunch of toys and I want to do everything. But you're practically, there's so much going on already in your world that all you have to choose. Okay, so maybe how can I choose all of it together is also a great question. But I want to read this little bit. And also what that does is, when I am constantly focusing on, oh, I should continue doing it, whatever it is, it could even be a relationship. Sometimes some relationships are not working for you, and you go into, should I continue, should I not continue? And then it takes you into this desperate need of trying to make it work somehow. That actually makes it a lot heavier. Have you noticed that? And then if it doesn't work out, then you have to now go into the judgment of you. So you go, oh, I don't have, and I can't do it, and I don't know how. Anyone ever have those thoughts, those feelings, and those emotions? And once you're in it, then it becomes difficult. So also this is about a point of view, and if you can continue to choose it, please choose it. But this is something that I jotted down from Access materials, reference materials, and it is beautiful. It is about joy and enthusiasm and how it can help you choose. So Gary says it's easy to go into the lack mode of creation, the lack mode of creation, okay, that I can't, I won't be able to, or whatever it is. It's so easy to buy into the right and wrong of how things have to be, how creation has to look like. What and how would that money or the relationship or the business could hold to you? What that does is it leads you down that road of desperation, the need based creation, the choice that's not yours, though it seems like the obvious way to go. Would you choose to engage? So, if you knew when to stop going down that road, if you knew before you took that turn, if you knew before you took that turn, if you looked for joy and enthusiasm to determine whether that path is yours to take or not, would you choose different? Would you choose to engage with the energies of creation in a different way? Would you like to take action on that brilliant idea that you've had for ages but have been dismissing? Would you not wrong yourself for not trying to achieve short term successes? Would you choose to create for the future? And everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, online shorts, boys and beyonds. That is the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. So if you actually knew before you made that choice, just knew whether it's enthusing you or not, whether it's creating joy in your world or not, would that need to hold on to that thing that you've been trying to hold on to for so long because you think that that is what is creating your life, that is your creative mode, would you be able to let it go with ease, trusting and knowing that you are the creator? And there's something else waiting for you, looking at you. And there's this beautiful book by Elizabeth Gilbert. It's called Big Magic. I've been recommending it since the last couple of years. It's amazing. It talks about ideas whispering to you, creation talking to you. And if you were willing to let go of that need-based creation, if you were willing to let go of that needy energy of trying to hold on to something as if that's what's going to create your future, your fortune, your wealth, but it's not, you can see it, yet you're not willing to let it go. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's a business, whether it's a job, whatever it is, or a home or a space, whatever. If you're willing to let it go, like just push your barriers down and notice how much more could be available to you, how much more could be whispering to you if you were willing to listen. Because creation literally niggles at you. It keeps tapping lightly, gently. Hey, look at me. Hey, look at me. Hey, look. But you're so engrossed in that need based creation, that lack mode, and the right and the wrong, or what you should be doing, what you're not doing, all of that. That so many times we just fail to hear the whispers of creation, the whispers of the universe, the whispers of the future, which is telling you, hey, I'm here, I'm waiting for you. When are you going to listen? So, all the points of views that you have that are making you hold on to any of that, will you destroy and uncreate all? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, line shorts, boys and beyond. So, these are the, yes, that's the book, Gitu. So, I think that's it from me for today. I hope that shifted something in your financial worlds. I hope that takes you down the path that creates joy, enthusiasm for you, that unique path that is yours, not looking left, right, and center at who's doing what and what you should be doing and what you were taught. Rather, choosing to ask questions, choosing that which works for you, and committing to yourself. So, all those who joined in late, welcome. Please go back to the previous part of the call if you would like to listen to that. And we spoke about commitment to creation and choosing the life that works for you and what is stopping that. And please begin to ask, what would I like to create and what would it take for me to commit to myself? And you don't have to give up on the other things, guys. You're an infinite being. You would like to have everything in your life, which is actually a blessing. It's your strength. And like he says in the Advanced Money Workbook, strength is where you cannot be broken, where you trust goes so deep that nobody can shake it, where your trust in yourself and your capacities and what you can create is fantastic, is phenomenal, phenomenins rather, because even phenomenal has a limitation attached to that. So, what would it take for you to go beyond anything that you have thought was possible, to trust yourself and to create the life, living, and reality you have been asking for? And everything that doesn't allow that, everything that does not allow all of the money also to show up with that joy, with that enthusiasm, because joy and enthusiasm are pillars of money. Money likes to be in the party of joy and enthusiasm. It doesn't like to come to people who are, not happy, people who are forcing themselves to do things. You would have seen people like that in your life. And we're not one of those if you're still listening to me here. But we try to be sometimes. We try to buy into this reality as real and true. So stop doing that. So everything that doesn't allow that, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, online shows, boys and beyonds. Yes, the recording is available on the Showing Up As You Facebook group as a live replay. I will also be sharing the YouTube recording with you guys if you are on my Daily Business Veggies WhatsApp group or the engaging group where I post my classes. If not, just reach out to me on Messenger on the Showing Up As You group, or I'll give you the link to join either of those. So thank you for being here. And if any of you are interested in joining the Advanced Money series, text me right away because we're going to be starting tomorrow and I'm not delaying it any further. So if you're sitting on the edge, jump on. Is now the time? Ask yourself, is now the time to commit? Is now the time to start doing something different? Because you might think, oh, it's a lot of money, why should I put it in a class, and what are they really going to teach me? But what I can tell you is I had those same points of views earlier. But then when I actually started looking at and listening to these calls of, I mean, Gary is brilliant, and so is Dane, so are Simone and Brendan. This particular workbook has been facilitated by Gary. And I mean, like I'm saying, if you don't believe me, get the book, pick it up, and just read any page on it. You will understand what I'm saying. It goes beyond this reality, conversations that nobody talks to us about. Yet when you hear them, you're like, oh my God, I knew this. Oh my God, why didn't I think of this before? And oh my God, this is mind blowing. And if I just make this little tweak, so much in my life can change. Why have I been shutting myself? Why have I been putting off my fortune? So it is literally what you know is true. Just put in beautiful words and amazing awarenesses. And each one of us has unique awarenesses. So that's all I'm going to say about it. Feel free to text me to find out more about this. And I will see you again somewhere soon. Thank you, everyone. And please continue to be you. Choose more, create a different reality. Bye. Good night.
Thank you so much. Thank you.